Happy flipping Friday. I hope everyone's having a great day. Man, if you can't make yourself laugh, I don't know. You got to work on it because it's so fun. Andrew, I'm over here dying, laughing, thinking about my own thoughts about this music. I don't know. I might be in the wrong career, bro. I think I heard a song about King Kong, about the Roomba vacuum, about a taxi. About gasoline. And I'm pretty sure that he was talking about Toto from The Wizard of Oz in the last song. I don't know, but it's pretty amazing, dude. It's pretty
It's
amazing.
incredible. Latinos get away with making music literally about nothing. As long as the beat's good and people can dance to it, it's like, oh, this sounds great. This is awesome. You should wait till I send. I will play you guys a song next week. A lot of you probably might hate it. It goes La Vaca Moo, and it's like the whole thing is literally just that, which just says the cow goes moo, and it's a massive merengue song, and it's made millions of hits. It's gone, I think, gold or platinum, and the whole song is literally just the guy says the cow moo, the cow moo the entire time. It's like Baby Shark, triple platinum.
Wonder if the guy that wrote the song about the Roomba's pissed off that like the cow guy got all the credit.
That we use the song to promote the Roomba.
Like, dude, I tried. I talked about a vacuum. It can do so much more than that cow. Oh, oh, so funny, man. Good to see everyone. It is great to be here. We've got awesome call lined up. Kristen Mothershead's gonna hit us with some knowledge. Kristen, how you doing, girl?
I'm doing well, just listening to you lose it.
You know it's hard. It's hard. Who's on with you today? Is it just you? You have some
It's
guests?
just me. You guys are in for a treat.
Good.
Just me. Gonna share a little bit about the changes I've made this year with production and just how it's helped me. So
Yeah. Yeah, well, I'm excited. I was looking at some numbers this morning. Uh, you're on pace to be well over a couple thousand more than you did last year. Y'all are at 700,000 now for the year, which is so awesome. You're an agency director. When did you break out as agency owner?
I can't remember my birthday ever, so that's a great question. I think it was last August.
Okay. And since then, have become an agency director, which is just fantastic. Um, just so excited for you, so proud of you. I'll introduce you here after the leaderboards, but I'm grateful for you, girl.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, yeah. I hope everyone's enjoying the change of weather. You drinking your pumpkin spice, Kristen?
Let's make two things very clear. Pumpkin spice is disgusting and candy corn is trash. Okay. I said
Candy corn is trash. It's the worst candy ever, and it's like so popular.
it's disgusting. It's disgusting. I don't even want drop a
And
one in the chat if you hate candy corn.
who sees a bowl of candy corn sitting on the island or someone's table, like with, kids reaching in there, grabbing it, and you're like, oh, I think I'm gonna go have one of those too.
Yeah, it's
No,
not. Mm.
no, no. There's a lot of snot hanging around candy corns in different places, in kids' hands. Um, but I was thinking about the seasons this morning, Kristen, and the change of it. It's certainly fall around here. And man, I love the summer so much. The fall's nice, the weather's nice, but the winter it gets darker earlier and it's cold, and I'm like, man, you can't swim. Um,
I love it. I love it.
the winter.
Yep, bring it. Yes.
See, well,
Christmas.
we've got, yes, we do love Christmas. It's our favorite time of year, um, but I was just thinking about that the seasons in life, and no matter how much I love the summer, I can't make it summer. You know, it's gonna be fall. The seasons, I think, make way for the next season, right? Like if the leaves don't fall, I guess it could snow without the leaves falling, but then you have winter that kills everything off, and then you have spring and the rebirth, and then you have summer where everything's flourishing. And And I think, you know, there's always a season of like, of planting, of sowing, of reaping, you know, and of rest. And, I just think it's important in business to be mindful of that. Like, you're not going to skip a season. You can't skip the season of planting and expect to reap. Like that just doesn't happen, you know? You have to go through a season of planting. You have to go through a season of investing in your business. You have to go through a season of um, getting through the learning curve, right? Of not being great at first, right? And then um sowing, right? And then you get to sow. You do the work first and you see the results later. And I think that sometimes what has happened, you know, can happen. We have a ton of leaders leading from the front, and a leader, you know, in my opinion, is anyone who's shared this opportunity with another person. We have a ton of leaders that are saying, hey, here's the way to success, right? Here's the 4 cornerstones. Here's the 4 keys to successful week. This is the way to success. But then you're not doing those same things that you're suggesting other people to do. We have a ton of people that are, best team in the entire company, in my opinion. But I see some agencies, you know, and like I said, an agency consists of more than one person. I see some people who are hiring people, suggesting them to do something that they're not doing. And you might be struggling. Maybe it's hard to keep bodies on your team. And the reason is because nobody wants to follow a hypocrite. Nobody. So when you're telling someone to do something that you're not doing, the thing is, and the reason I can speak from this from a place of looking in the mirror is because I did this years ago, you know, and that's it's why I had a couple teams fall apart, key leader teams. If you're asking someone to do something you're not doing, they'll get frustrated, and they'll and not to you typically, because your relationship's not that great yet with someone new. They're not going to call you and say, hey, but you're not doing it. They're just going to quit, right? They don't leave you a note under your door or anything. They don't send you a note in the mail saying, hey, I quit because of your lack of activity. They just quit, right? So let's be careful not to get to that resting season too quickly. And I think you can look around and just settle in. Like, you can find a pace that works for you. But if you want to build something special here, that team needs someone to lead it. And that's you. And you lead it by just going out and doing it. And you can put it off till tomorrow, but that's not going to change the fact that it still has to be done. So the longer you put it off, the longer you're delaying that explosive growth that you're looking for. So I just say, you know, the seasons change. In this business, though, we're the ones that dictate when they change, right? Like, it's not automatic just because of the calendar switches to December that you're automatically going to be in the reaping season. Your reaping season is going to be different, Kristen, than Andrew's or Scott's, or right? Because it depends on how much planting or sowing that you do, how much planting that you do, right? So let's not put off that planting. You know, I would just say, man, it's a great time of year for a lot of people right now who are protecting a ton of families. I think Chad Harrington's 40-some thousand dollars this week. There's people out there that need what we have. There's people out there that desperately need what we have, you know, and I would love to show up for corporate in a big way. This team, forget what everybody else says. I want this team, man. I would love for this team and the leaders on it to go step outside of your comfort zone, to do more than you ever did next week. Not for me, but for this company, for North Carolina, for everybody affected, right? By there's just the turmoil. And I know there's tons of other states. I talked to Scott Mank today, like Florida's a mess. There's just so many places, man. But what we can do right now, because our headquarters is in Nashville, is we can make a difference, man. A big difference if we just focus on our season. And there's not too many people in the resting season. I can guarantee you that, because I'm not. So if you are, that's a problem. Not saying that I don't rest or you shouldn't either, but we can't spend too much time in that resting season or our business goes backwards, right? So I just want to encourage everyone, man, to take a personal look at you yourself, not your agents. And like if you're having the comment like, yeah, my agents just aren't moving, or I can't seem to get my team to move, before you say those words, look in the mirror and ask yourself, am I moving? Am I moving? Would I be one of those people that my mentor said, I can't seem to get to move? And if so, fix it. And if you fix that one simple thing, I promise you, your results will change. Your team will get excited. Your sales will go up. You will have more self-confidence. You will have more money, and you will have more passion for this great, great business that so many people who do it the right way have. So let's make sure we pay attention to our season, and let's make sure we plant, man, so that when we sow and when we reap those rewards, that they're big, 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 and we can help a lot of other people grow something big. So, Andrew, I'm gonna pass it to you for the leaderboards, man. I love you guys. I'm proud of this team, but I really, I would love to be the team that breaks a record for this company next week. I know we have the bodies to do it. I know we have the leaders to do it, and I certainly know we have the heart to do it. So, love you guys, Andrew. I'm gonna pass it to you. Thank you so much. Um, I'm excited for this call. I know I've already talked about some of your numbers. Not only are you an awesome, awesome DJ, not only have you been kicking butt in this business, but you're an amazing mom. You're a terrific leader. And I tell you what, you have a servant's heart. Um, and I love all of the things about you, but I think it's really special when we can get outside of ourselves and in the midst of being a mom, in the midst of growing a business, in the midst of all the stresses and struggles and frustrations of being a wife and all the things, you can still take time out to serve other people, and you do it often, but most recently is the Bags of Sunshine. Can you just update us on how that played out? Because there's a lot of people that want to know, and then I'll pass it to you, girl. But I love you. We are grateful to have you on this team.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Yes, I was going to share an update. So we have them ready. There a couple of people Amazon some stuff to us, like jackets and blankets. So we're waiting on a few more, but I think I'm talking with Jessica, Roddy's wife, and probably hope to get up Monday or Tuesday to drop them off. But I was shocked at the amount of stuff we could get with them. I mean, these kids are going to have everything from toys to gadgets to coloring crafts to socks and gloves and jackets and blankets and all the things. And I know that it's been 2 or 3 weeks, so things are going to start, getting off of people's radar. And so I think that it's going to be perfect timing for us to bring them in and help. So I appreciate everyone who contributed. It was pretty exciting. And the kids were like, holy cow, look at all this stuff. I've had to keep them out of it. Get away. This is not for you.
So cool. How many bags did you get?
We were able to do 50. And I mean, you can get a lot of stuff in there. So yeah.
For sure. And it's so impactful because, as much as people love kids and children and all that, in times like this, you're thinking about necessities like food and water, but man, I could imagine Stacy and I being in a situation with our 6-year-olds with nothing for them to do, like
Yeah.
what a blessing. So,
Yep.
appreciate you, girl.
Thank you. Yeah, we're excited. They're pretty awesome. So
yeah. Well, I'm excited to hear from you today. I just it's gonna be awesome. Love to hear what's on your mind and your heart. And
Andrew, can you make me a co-host or something so I can share my screen, please? Oh, maybe I can. Hold on.
I'm working.
Oh, can you see it?
Yep, you're good.
Yeah.
What is this? Okay. Hey guys. All right. So I pulled a Jim Larson today and made a PowerPoint because I figured If I was going to speak to you on something that I'm pretty passionate about right now, you probably don't want to stare at just me for, I was hoping not 30 minutes. So thank you, Andrew, for going over the allotted time.
I'll
But
take ownership of that, Andrew. Not your fault, mine.
Um, but when I get asked to speak or share on these types of calls, usually my go-to is personal development or some type of like encouraging word, because that is just true to who I am and what I'm passionate about. But lately in this season of my, my business and just growing and learning to be better at this, I'm really passionate about the shift that I've made in my sales process and the script that I'm using and some of the little tweaks that have really been a game changer for me, and how that has played out as far as, production and confidence and coaching and my finances. So I wanted to share on that today. So it's going to be a little bit more practical, a little bit more, hands-on, and whether this resonates with you completely, or, this is totally not even the posture that you use in your own production, you're going to be able to find something from it that you can implement in other areas of your life, or just an encouragement to keep going if things get hard. So that's where we're going today. And I'm going to, really share on, again, two things: my sales process. I'll share the couple of tweaks that I've made that have really been game changing. And I know they're game changing because I actually tracked my data, which is not like me. Because I decided back in, I don't know, April, if I was going to start sharing this with people to see if it works for them, I needed to first make sure that it was actually working, and it just didn't feel like it was working. So I'll share about my sales script, and then a couple of just a perspective that it's helped me see and things that it's helped me do because I'm able to produce now. So the first thing I want to ask, again, pulling a Jim Larson, getting engagement here. Okay, so reflection is often important, in our life, whether it's relationships or careers, a situation. It's good to reflect, because then we get to analyze and figure out, okay, how can I get better? What can I improve? What do I want to continue doing or stay consistent in that worked? And it's not something people always do. And a lot of times we're encouraged to do at the beginning of the year. So I want you to drop a 1 in the chat if in January you took time to reflect on your business in 2023. And maybe if not your business, maybe you reflected on a relationship or something you set out to change or get better at in 2023. Hope to see a lot of ones, because we're all about development here. I love it. So I, in January, set out time to reflect on 2023. And what I found was not so fancy. I felt good about my business and the agency, and we're growing and things were happening, but I really didn't ever take time until just January to sit down and figure out what my role was in that, and where we were. And so here's what my reflections uncovered. And this is what Opt helped me uncover. And this is full-time. This is my full-time job. I put in a total of 39 applications, and that resulted in 36,948 APV, with 14 apps on leads and 25 apps on warm market. So not so many leads, and a lot of warm market friends helped. So these were my numbers. And it was at that point that I knew where I wanted to go in this business. And if I stayed here in this place that I was looking in the mirror at, I would not be able to get there. And if I did, I would be broke probably. So I had made, I realized that I had two choices that I could make, because quitting was not an option for me. It wasn't at that time. I could either do nothing and continue to just fly under the radar, knowing that Jacob could see or Jamie could see, and not that they ever made me feel bad about my personal production or that I wasn't always on the leaderboards. But I could either, choose to let that be my story, to, think that I could not be a good producer, to think that production wasn't just my thing, or I could decide to do whatever I needed to do to figure it out. I could decide to make some changes, make some shifts, whatever it was. So those were my two options. And I went with option 2. because I wasn't okay with flying under the radar and knowing that Jamie and Jacob could see that I wasn't bringing weight to the agency. I didn't want to be that person. So option 2 it is. Insert drastic changes. And I say drastic because they were drastic. I made 2 drastic changes when it came to leads and my sales script or process. So the leads is a little bit more practical. It's part of what we do here to be successful. You know, you've got to have resources. I was buying leads. Yes, I was dialing, but I was, one, not consistent in it. I wasn't consistently buying every week, or there was no system. I was literally just flying by the seat of my pants, just buying leads whenever I felt like it. I wasn't consistent in location or paying attention to, you know, what states I was winning in. Well, it wasn't very many, but I wasn't paying attention to those types of things. I wasn't committed to a weekly, you know, resource investment. It was literally, what do we have left over or to spare to invest into my business, which isn't a great place to be, because if you don't have resources, you're not going to be profitable. And I decided to just completely just go all in. And this was a conversation with my husband, because communication and making sure that we're on the same page, because it's a financial commitment and we weren't mega profitable at the time. So I needed to up my lead investment, and I needed to either go big or go home kind of mentality. And so I decided to up my lead investment. I went from like $150 to $200 a week to $400 or $500 very quickly. And now today I'm like $700 to $900 most weeks. I started paying attention to the states that I was winning in, and then consistently just buying in those areas, rather than, you know, sometimes we get excited about this state and this lead type or that lead type, and we find ourselves, you know, working digitals. We've got mortgage protection. We got 7,000 states and we're just all over the place. So I decided to just commit to like 1 or 2 lanes and stay there. And then I decided to also track my wins, my dials, my appointments. Just start paying attention to the numbers and the data so that I could see, is this working, or it would allow me to recognize the areas that I needed to improve in. If I stayed in, you know, mortgage protection leads for 6 weeks and I was absolutely terrible, then I could change and shift to something completely different and compare it. How, you know, give me some numbers to look at so that I know where I can get better and improve, and what I know that I need to continue doing. So I made that commitment with leads, and that was a financial commitment for sure. And one that, you know, there were some weeks where we were like, okay, what the heck do we do? I hope we get some overrides, you know, something like that, which is terrible to say, but that's where we were. And the biggest part for the game changer for me has been my sales process or my script. And I just want to first say that what I share in the next couple of slides are little pieces that have been working for me. It is mostly completely against the grain of what is being trained. You know, it's a little bit different. My posture is more relaxed. I do things that often are said not to be done, but I can tell you that I'm winning more than I have ever won before. I'm consistently doing so. I'm getting referrals. I've had more compliments in the last 6 months than I, you know, have ever had. So take what resonates with you out of what I'm going to share. You know, take bits and pieces, take it all, throw it all out. I don't care, but I want to share this because it's helped me, and it's the reason why I am where I am today. And I know that can help someone else too that's struggling. So, CE learnings. We all hate CE classes. I know that when I first started, I was like, do we really have to do these? Can I just breeze through this? Well, I'm so glad I didn't just breeze through, because I learned something that, again, changed my production life completely. I was a terrible producer, so I was just soaking it all in. There was a CE class that I did with this man and his son, and it was like a super weird class, but they shared this concept that really resonated with me. And the concept was this no sales policy. So no sales policy on the first call. And they talked about how there was a man a long time ago, and he was big in the financial world, and he started using this no sales policy. And he would meet with clients and tell them he had a no sales policy on the first appointment. And it really gave him the opportunity to create a relationship with these people, which ended in more sales. How many of you, have had or love when people no show? Like, we have so many appointments booked and nobody shows, but because often we don't have the trust or the relationship built with our clients. So using the no sales policy has given me an opportunity to create relationship and rapport with my clients. So I have seen the no sales policy on the first call used in any lead type. I work solely Razor Ridge digital, but there have been people who used it in the mortgage protection analog leads. It works across the board, so it's not just one specific area. But the way that it works is you can say something like this. I have a no sales policy on the first call. This is just to learn more about what, prompted your search for coverage, or insert, what you're looking for as far as mortgage protection and how I can help. It gives me an opportunity to learn more about you, ask some questions, and then that it just gives you an opportunity to have a nice discovery call, I call it. So when I was brought in, and many of you, we're trained that we have a quick, like, hey, I just need 3 to 5 minutes of your time to collect some information, and then we'll schedule an appointment. What I was finding is that I was having a lot of no-shows, or getting people on the phone to just spew their information at me who weren't really interested anyways. So when I started saying the no sales policy on the first call, I all of a sudden now have people who want to get on the phone with me and are opening up and having conversations. So my initial phone call has turned out to be my discovery call. It's my client intake call. It's the longer and the bulkier of the two. Instead of my appointment call, the second call being the bulky one, it's my first call. I am, again, learning, why did you put in this request for mortgage protection coverage? Or, I know that you're interested in life insurance coverage. Tell me about what prompted that search. Or, just talking to them, having a conversation, being a human. And the one thing I'll share with this is, if you're on an analog lead, oh, Adam's drawing. If you're doing mortgage protection analog leads, you can use this in your first call or reach out or your text. And you would say, that you have a request for, more information on mortgage protection coverage. You'd like to talk with them for a few minutes to learn why they're interested, or what they're looking for when it comes to mortgage protection, and how you can help. If you're doing digital leads, most often they're responding to the campaign and they're saying text, because they want us to text them. They're wanting you to text them because they don't want a creepy salesperson coming and pushing something on them. So immediately break down the wall and barrier and say, hey, great, text works for me. I do want to share, I have a no sales policy on the first call. This is just for learning more about you. This is for learning about what prompted your search for coverage. Do you still want me to text, or do you prefer a call? 99% of the time, they will respond, you can call, because I've now broken down the barrier and told them they don't need to worry. And so it's worked very, very well for me. This has been like life-changing. And just for anyone asking, I have a document that I'll share at the very end, and it's got every single thing that I do in a Google Drive folder. Can you imagine that? I've organized it all for you so that you can not have to write down everything that I'm saying, and just listen, and I'll share. For people who, just to give you another example, if they respond text, and people are legitimately at work and they're like, no, I can't get on the phone right now, I just need to text. Or if you call a mortgage protection lead and they're like, hey, I'm at work, I can't talk right now. Well, then text them, and they'll probably be okay with texting. When someone is just wanting to text to do the exchange, you can use the no sales policy concept when booking the appointment. So you can remind them, you know, if they're hesitant to book an appointment with you, or they're being resistant to book an appointment or to get on the phone and go over their options, you can remind them, hey, just a reminder, this is a no sales policy on the first call kind of idea. Just want to share the options I found with you, and then answer any questions that you have. Then again, most often they're like, sure, I'll, you know, book an appointment. And you've broken down that barrier. And if they do want to move forward, you can just say, you know, I actually have a few minutes if you want to do it now. It's what I've always done, and they've always said yes. Or, you know, you can say, if you don't have a few minutes now, we can book an appointment for tomorrow. But you can kind of use this no sales policy on the first call concept at anywhere in those two areas, and it's worked very well. Most often it's used at the beginning to build the rapport, build the trust, remove those barriers. The whole general idea of this and everything else that I have brought to the table has really just been meeting the client where they are. I want to let them feel the way that I would want to feel on the other side of the phone. There were so many things that I was doing and saying that didn't feel authentic to me, but they were being trained as good sales techniques. And I'm not going to doubt that they are good sales techniques. They just weren't working for me because that wasn't who I was. And so I needed to find something that I could sit in and feel authentic to me. And as soon as I started sitting in what felt right to me, then everything changed. So whether it's the no sales policy or something else you feel like you should be doing or saying, but you're not because it's not in the script, then do it and say it, because that's most often what's going to work for you. I do emails and text. I know that's a big no-no most places. It's a waste of time. The last 9 closes I've had have been from emails or text for options, but because I had a bulky first call on the phone. So I've already talked to them. We've had a great conversation. We have a relationship. Now I can email you options or text you options, and I'm happy to do that because you're making it a financial decision. And I want you to see and visualize and be able to know that it's going to work for your budget. And I close them all the time like that. And I will say that I have 1 chargeback in the last year because my business is sticky, because they know that they can do it, they want to do it, and it's not like a jump of the gun decision. So here's my follow-up, my post-issue email. We do digital sales, a lot of us. Even with analog, we have companies that we're working with who give digital policies. So they shared something at Leadership Summit at the beginning of the year that said, if your client is not getting hands on their digital electronic policy, they are more likely to cancel or to be a chargeback. So I said, okay, we need a post-issue email. So this post-issue email, again, this is in my link that I'll share with you guys in just a sec, but it's got 2 different templates. One's for referral focus. The other is for, you know, just thank you, would love your feedback or testimonial. And you can use either one that's good for you. But the important piece here in this post-issue email is that it gives them the power to register for their online portal, gives them access to their policy, and you know, you go through all the benefits of that. So now I know my clients are getting access to their portal. It has given them so much control. I've had so much more communication from clients about, you know, even just changing payments, being able to contact customer service. Like, it empowers them to be in control, but it gets that policy in their hands, which tells them it's real and that they are covered. So this post-issue email has also been a huge step in what I've kind of implemented that has worked. So let me just show you the proof in the pudding for right now. And I will say I started diving into my consistent lead spend in the beginning of April. So really these numbers are more so April, May, June, July, August. But so far for 2024, I've done 57 applications, 87,000 in APV, 60 apps total on leads, and 50 on warm market. So I went from nothing, which was terrible, 36,000 APV in the entire year with only 14 apps on leads, to 87,000 as of a week or 2 ago,
So
60 apps.
This is incredible. So go back to the last slide, please, hon.
Yes.
So this was your total 2023 production, 39, 36,000. Can you go to the next slide? And in about 6 months, did you say?
Yes.
$87,000 in production. Kristen, you made a decision that you were gonna invest more in leads, right? Like that's really where it comes from. Like I don't expect like if you're getting results doing what you're doing, do not change what you're doing. This works for Kristen.
Yep.
It works for some other folks who have tried it who may not have necessarily been getting results doing what they're doing, right? Like one of the issues that we can come across in business is always looking for that next tweak to get a different result, and then we're constantly trying to learn something new, which might be necessary, but you got to start with the start, which is remember at the beginning of the call, she increased her lead flow. So increase your lead flow first with what you're doing and see if that works. Because what you're doing now is the most comfortable thing because you're doing it. And if not, then make these tweaks, right? Which is working great for her. But it's just crazy to think about. Like it starts with making a decision, Kristen, and then the 4 keys to a successful week, right? Having the proper resources, investment is what you started with. Activity, right? Is the next thing. Schedule, which getting your schedule so that you can get these appointments on the books. And then the system, which is being on these calls, showing up to Ignite, showing up to national conferences, going to your fall tours, like plugging into the system. I just so proud of you. And I wanted to point out, like, in all of this, I hope what's not lost is that first slide when she said, I increased my lead investment. It's just that the return's always there so long as you put in the activity. So,
Yep. Yeah. And I increased it. I mean, I'm getting the green light from Johnny Mothershead to do, $800 to $1,000 a week because he knows that we're tracking and I'm profitable. So, and hopefully the goal is towards the end of this year and the beginning of next year is that I don't have, now that I'm getting better at my skill and my posture is more confident, that I'll be able to spend less to get the results that I need in order to sustain profitability. But I knew that I wasn't as good as others, so I needed to invest way more than others were just to get average results. And so now I'm pulling that back because I'm getting better at just sitting in my posture. So, but when Johnny says green light, like invest, then that is a good thing. So we've been able to do it consistently. And then, if you want my email or whatever piece that resonates with you, like Jacob said, there are thousands of scripts. I had a conversation with an agent at one point and we were just all over the place. I said, hey, what you were doing so well, why change? If what is working for you, then stay there. But if there are pieces that you can pick up, if you feel, if you notice that you're not able to have a certain amount of sits, or you have no shows, or you're not able to close after you're on the appointment, then make tweaks in those areas or talk to your, mentor about tweaking the areas that you're not seeing good results in. But don't change it if it's not broken. There are so many shiny pennies here. You just have to stay head down. If you are winning and you are getting to where you need to be, then don't worry about what everyone else is doing that's working for them, because that's working for them. So, you can use this, and maybe we can post it, or I can give it to Laura to share the link to this Google Drive if you want to use any of that. So all of that to say, I know I'm running over, but real quick, that production has allowed me to bring confidence into my coaching. Being like Jacob was talking about, it's hard for me to build a business and bring on agents and say, you can do $10,000 a month at part-time or whatever, when I'm not walking it out myself. If I wasn't confident in producing, then how am I going to coach someone else to be confident in producing? So it's given me confidence. It's given me the ability to coach, to feel confident when I am coaching, and that I'm not just throwing stuff out. I know it's working and I can help them get better. I know that I can help you get better. It's obviously helped our finances because personal production is where a lot of that comes from. And it's given proof, like Jacob said. Now I have proof. I'm getting deposits. I'm closing policies. I'm helping clients. I'm getting referrals. I'm getting compliments and good feedback. And I can share that with my market. And that just is proof in the pudding. So it's so much more than just producing and getting clients covered. It flows into every single area of our business, especially if you're building as an agency. Um, and then, this just sums up what Jacob said too. There are many ways to win. You just have to find what works for you. So,
Man, so good. So good. When in doubt, always choose the most difficult way. I love that, right? Like, one of the quotes that really changed my life. I'm not being dramatic or overly dramatic. Was from Jim Rohn. It reminded me when I just read that, and early on in business, and it says something to the effect of the books you don't read can't help you, the conference you don't attend can't change your life.
mm,
The business gets better when you get better. Don't wish it was easier. Wish you were better, right? And that goes to that quote about doing the hard things first. And man, that it does so much for you. And like people, it's funny. I've been in business for 12 years and I've made these mistakes, and I've gone and asked Mark, why is this not working? Why is this not working? And it's always the same answer. Well, you got to go lead, or you got to go do it. You got to go, right? But we always put off the thing that we're not fired up to do. But it's that thing that usually makes the biggest impact in our business. So I'm pleading with those of you who want to win to just simplify this thing and go win. Invest more in leads, call them, right? And then everything's going to work itself out. You will be more confident. It makes you a better leader because you're actually doing it. It makes you a better builder because at the times I'm most fired up about sharing this opportunity are the times I'm most engaged in doing the things I know I should be doing. Because you can hide from agents on your team for a little bit, but they see other leaders out there doing it, then they see their leader not doing it. You can't hide from the mirror. You take yourself everywhere. And that was what was always difficult for me. It's like, gosh, I know I'm supposed to be doing this. And when we're not doing something we're supposed to be doing, it stresses us out because it pops into our brain occasionally through the week, which takes up space. So, man, let's just go do our job. And all of our jobs are different right now, right? But let's go do our job, whatever that is for you. But, man, if you can do the work to stay in this business, which is very simple, it's not easy, it's simple. If you do the work to stay in this business, it will change your life. Y'all give Kristen some love in the chat. This was a great, great call. Kristen, I appreciate you just sharing your process and your way. And you know, it's funny, like however you want to wrap these presents up in a bow, it always boils down to over the years of the 4 keys to successful week. And that's what I love about this system. I'm a simple guy, and it's always so simple. Invest, put in the work, set the appointments, and then we're gonna have the results. We're gonna protect a bunch of families. So, Kristen, people are blowing you up in the chat. Thank you so much for this. Thank you all for hanging a few minutes late.
thank you. Appreciate it.
Yes, let's go. All of you out there who haven't hit 10K plus, go do that next week so you can get some extra benefit from that in terms of a lead credit. Let's make it a record week. Leaders, let's lead, man. Let's have the best week ever. Let's just start creating the culture of excellence in your team. Not that you have to be perfect, but excellence that I'm going to do my part, right? I'm going to follow this system that I'm telling you to follow, and promise you, you hold your head up 90 days from now, your results will be drastically, drastically different. A lot of people out there that need what we have. Let's go find those people. Let's do the right thing. And man, let's run into the end of this year, right? Let's create some amazing momentum so that when people come onto this team, they know they're in the right place. They know that this is the right time, and they know that we're the right people that can help them get what they want. I love you all. Y'all have a great weekend, and we will chat soon.